Welcome to our Breakfast Club call. My name is Pamela Pacheco, and I have the absolute honor, pleasure, and privilege of being your host on this beautiful, thriving Thursday morning. Kindly state your name. Let me know where you're dialing in from. Welcome to all of the cities that are joining us around the world. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So last week, if you joined our call, we had the one and only Lisa Burton. And if you missed that, make sure you go and check out our Chosen Global YouTube page where you can find all of the recording for not only last week, but all of our Breakfast Club calls. I remember when I first started entrepreneurship, I was looking forward to these type of mentorship calls. Not only was I looking forward to these calls because of the information I was going to receive, but I was looking forward to these type of calls for the inspiration that I was going to receive. Garbage in is garbage out. Greatness in is greatness out. Kudos to each and every single one of you guys that decided to start your morning off with some greatness, with some inspiration. So last week we had such a phenomenal call. Again, shout out to Lisa. Thank you so much for blessing us. And today we are going to talk about why we need systems. So if you're taking notes, because note takers are history makers, why do we need systems? Okay. And systems stand for saving yourself some time, energy, and money. I remember from when I started being in school, we had a system, right? Type of one in the chat. If you had a system in school, you had to get up, right? You knew that your desk was a certain way when you got into school. You knew that the teacher always gave us what at the beginning of the year? She gave us some type of agenda. She gave us some type of curriculum or syllabus. And we've always had systems. When I started being in corporate America, we had systems for work. We had what they call SOP, standard operating procedures. We also, when in the National Guard, right, when ROTC and National Guard, we had systems, standing operating procedures. So in every aspect of life, we've had standard operating procedures or some systems of some sort. Well, in business, organizations, whether it's direct sales, whether it's network marketing, in any organization, we need systems. And here are 3 top reasons why we need systems, and we're going to break these down in a second. Number 1, accountability, right? Number 2, structure. And number 3, results. And systems stand for saving yourself some time, energy, and money. So if we're talking about the accountability aspect, right? Staying committed to the standard, because when you have a system in place, it allows you to stay committed to the standard. And what that means is that there's a standard of excellence. There's a standard that people are aware. See, one of the greatest things that we have is our RTE that is coming up next week, April 13th. And these systems stands for saving yourself some time, energy, and money, because if it's not broke, don't fix it. So that level of accountability, it allows us to stay committed. And I'll tell you this, that not only does it allow us to stay committed to our goals and stay committed to the standards, right? But it allows us to stay committed to each other. It also allows things to just run smoothly, because when you think about, systems are essentials in various aspects of business, including direct sales, thriving organizations, network marketing, and several reasons why when we talk about accountability, what does it give it? Because the accountability allows us to be consistent, right? These systems help maintain consistency in products, in services, in operations. And this consistent delivery, it builds trust. It builds trust with our customers. It builds trust with our distributors, and it leads to long-term success. Now, when we talk about the system with accountability, why that is also important is because, see, the accountability also goes into our training and development. The systems provide a framework for training new team members. It's standardized processes and procedures that make it easier to onboard and develop skills, reducing the learning curve for new team members, for new agents, for new customers. So because we have a system of accountability, because we have a system in place that allows us to be accountable to a higher level of excellence, it just makes it easier. Would you agree? Absolutely, absolutely. And here's the reality, that another reason why we need systems is because when you talk about behind every impactful organization, it's a unified team. And for a team to be unified, there has to be systems in place that is a standard of excellence across the board. Because for better or worse, the most effective organizations have a group of people committed to moving the same mission forward. So it is so essential for all of us to be on the same page. And that is why it's so important for not only us to be registered for the RTE, but to have our teammates, to have the people we care about, to have prospects there. Because the reality is that sometimes, and type of one in the chat, right? I see the ones coming in, make sure you send it to all panelists and attendees. But so often we have good intentions and a good message, but the whole team is saying something different. Imagine if that was the case. It would be complete and utter chaos. And if you've ever experienced that, type of one in the chat. So when you talk about for organizations to scale, how do you maintain the quality, the culture, and the heart behind what it is that we're doing? The answer is simple. It's by establishing these systems. So the second part of why systems are essential is because of the structure, right? The structures are like a bone in a body system. It gives support. So that structure is essential because when you're talking about efficiency, right? The structure brings efficiency because when you have systems that streamline processes, it makes them more efficient. It reduces wasted time and resources. And whether you're talking about direct sales, network marketing, building successful organizations, efficient systems ensure smooth operations from lead generation to closing sales, to training, to getting people started, to scaling, to each and every single aspect of what it means to be efficient. And here's the reality of what systems also do. Systems also allow for replicability, right? For that duplication. Because in this industry of network marketing, of direct sales, having duplicatable systems allows our agents, allows our members to duplicate successful strategies and processes. So this fosters growth and ensures that the team members can achieve similar levels of success. So type of one in the chat if that makes any sense. Type of V if you guys are getting value. I love it. I love it. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So more importantly, that is really what it comes down to. And here's another thing that the structure does, right? It allows for training and development. Now, when we were talking about the systems provide a framework for training and for new team members of standardized processes and procedures, yes, it makes it easier to onboard and develop skills. But guess what? Each one, reach one, teach one. The more systems that we have in place and people know exactly what to do, it shows that you have a system in place that is not only saving yourself some time, energy, and money, but it is also setting you up for success. So that structure is everything. And here's another thing that this structure provides: adaptability. Because when you're thinking about a system, a well-designed system, guess what it is? It's flexible and it can adapt to changes in the market or a business environment. And we got some very big announcements happening at the RTE on April 13th. And being at the right place at the right time and knowing that we have systems in place, also that structure brings about a trust. It brings about confidence, not only in our products, not only in our teammates, in our upline, in our leadership, but it brings about that trust in where we're at, but even that hope and certainty in where it is that we're going. So having that system in place is absolutely essential for that reason. So when we also talk about, the system, we said, okay, systems are important for accountability. They're important for structure, but they're also important for results, because the right systems, guys, they bring the vision to life. They bring the vision to life. And goals are great, right? But they're not enough. Strong systems turn vision into results because they provide a common purpose and a shared responsibility among the team, among the leadership, among the company. And the power is not in the presentation, it's in the participation. It's not you getting all the words right or you knowing all the benefits, which are great, right? Knowing your product, knowing your presentation, but it's not in the presentation where the power lies, ladies and gentlemen. It is in the participation. So when we walk with a unified front, there's no telling what it is that we can accomplish. So when you're talking about these results, right, that scalability, well-designed system enables businesses and organizations to scale their operations effectively as the business grows, because these systems ensure that the processes can handle an increased demand without sacrificing quality, without sacrificing integrity, without sacrificing the vision, without sacrificing the people. So all of those things are absolutely effective and important. So when you're talking about another thing that contributes to that scalability and that growth, it's that these systems provide data-driven decision making. See, the reason why sometimes you see that certain products have been discontinued or certain products have been introduced into the marketplace and you're going to see new ones introduced is because these systems often include mechanisms for collecting and analyzing data. What's working, what's not working, what's selling, what's not selling, right? So this data, it can be used to make informed decisions and not only identify areas for improvement, but also optimize the performance. So it is absolutely important for that. And when you talk about the scaling, right? The scaling also has to contributing factor to that is the adaptability, because a well-designed system is flexible and can adapt to changes in the market or the business environment. But this agility is crucial for staying competitive and thriving in dynamic industries, such as the one that we're in. So when you're talking about, the results, all of these things are because of the system that we have in place. And I encourage each and every single one of us, when we're thinking about the system, yes, it's saving yourself some time, energy, and money, but it's implementing it because it brings about a certain level of excellence. And also it brings about a certain level of expectation for our teammates, for our leaders, for our new teammates, and the new people that we're bringing on. So I always, I just, this is going to be very, I always say this, that it's what you know is great, but what your team knows and what they do is even greater, because you're leading by example, right? So when you have these systems in place and when you are able to, say, hey, I have these strong systems that turn a vision into results, but it promotes a common purpose and a shared responsibility, because the power, again, it's not in the presentation, it's in the participation. But walking with the unified front, it says, here's the reality.